Good morning, gentlemen. Active Aussie here, Sunday morning, 10:40 a.m. It's a beautiful summer's day, partly cloudy, partly sunny, and a gentle summer breeze. So it's really beautiful to be out here on the edge of the forest. I want to briefly talk about minimalism, and I think I made a video in regard to this once before, but recently I listened to a video by Evan Gill, who I think is a subscriber of mine. He leaves comments to some of my videos occasionally anyway, but I'm a subscriber of his, and occasionally I watch some of his videos as well. And he's made a few videos about the topic, the subject of minimalism, and I tend to agree with him in regard to this. I think it's very useful and important for men, not just men and women, to reduce the amount of clutter within our lives. And I feel, I've always felt that too much physical and mental clutter can cloud our judgment, so to speak. And after I watched Evan's video, I was scrolling down through the comments, and one guy left a comment saying, "Oh, I think minimalism is very boring, like you will own nothing and you will be happy." But I don't look at it to that sort of extreme. I'm a person who is in favour of private property, and if someone wants to buy a car and own a few things, I think that's fine, but we shouldn't go to an extreme either way in either direction. So when you hear people talking about minimalism, minimalist type lifestyles, some people will automatically think, or they'll say, oh, that's a type of communist, communal type lifestyle. But I think some people have a very simplistic view about communism. They just think, oh, communism is having money or not having money. But communism is way more than that. To me, the worst aspect of communism is extreme government control, and government wanting to control every aspect of a person's life. So it's not just about, oh, the haves and have-nots, and let's try and make everybody become equal. And communism, when it's taken to an extreme, is like radical communism, I feel, is extremely evil. For example, I've spoken about the Khmer Rouge in Cambodia before, and Maoism, certain people who have Maoist mindsets and ideology. I'm not talking about that, but what I mean is when you just have much more than what you really need. And I've even been guilty of it myself. At one stage, I had like 7 or 8 pairs of Birkenstock sandals, and I'd only wear about 4 pairs of them on a regular basis, and the other 4 pairs I used to like hardly ever wear. So that was basically just a waste of money. And even though I paid cash for them and I could afford to buy them, it was still a waste of money. You could say like a waste of resources, because I bought something that basically I was never going to use. I have started wearing some of those pairs I did buy, but most people don't need 8 pairs of sandals, or like 10 pairs of leather shoes, or 5 or 10 watches. I also like luxury watches, and I used to buy a lot of watches, and that was like another type of, you could say, impulsive buying, impulse spending. And some of those watches I hardly ever used to wear. And I just feel that sometimes rampant consumerism and overconsumption can be like taking drugs. You feel good for the first couple of weeks or months, and then the effect wears off and you think, oh, I'm bored with that item, I should go and buy something else, get something new. So it can be very addictive. Like, I don't have like shopping addiction, although I know people who have had that, including within my own family in the past. But occasionally I would impulse buy, and I might buy 3 or 4 things within a fairly brief time frame that I didn't really need. So in one of Evan's videos he said you should look around your house, look at what you own, and do you really need most of these items that you have, and what do you really need in your life? Is buying things going to make you happy, constantly purchasing new items and new products? Is this really what life's all about? And one of the reasons I have gotten into nature is because I come to a place like this and it's just a very natural, peaceful, pure environment. There is no clutter. It's just me in the forest, and I can really think a lot more clearly, and it's just good to not have too much choice. Sometimes we can have too many choices within our lives, and I think when people live in certain places, like, for example, you could say Pattaya in Thailand, the Gold Coast in Australia, maybe Miami in the United States, there's just like too much of everything, and people have too many choices about where to go out. There are too many shops, there's just too many bars, too much of everything. So I feel that especially people who live in very large cities, and especially tourist type cities, this can have a detrimental effect on people's well-being, physical and mental health. So even though I am anti-communism and I believe in private property and private ownership, I don't think that rampant consumerism and rampant capitalism is a good thing either. We have to try and strike a balance. But it seems to me that a lot of people just want to have very extravagant lifestyles, and especially women. For example, most women would not accept the sort of way I'm living now. I'm living a fairly minimalist type of lifestyle, but women want to have a very big, luxurious house, luxury cars, have lots of jewelry, have lots of nice clothes. And even for some women who maybe they grew up in a rural area and had a bit of hardship, they might only have a few dresses and skirts and not that many clothes or shoes. But a man might say, oh, that girl wears the same dress or the same skirt all the time. That's boring. She should buy some more clothes. I'll go and buy her a new dress, whatever. So a lot of people just always want more, or they expect the people in their life to have more, to own more. And there's just a lack of simplicity. We could make our lives a lot easier and more simple if we really wanted to. Just a bit of a deep and meaningful video, I feel. Just wanted to make this video, just making it up as I go along, but I think minimalist lifestyles can be a very positive thing and useful for many people. That's about all, guys. I am planning on making another video in regard to oofy doofy types, and just because of an experience I had a bit earlier this morning, so I'll do that a bit later during the upcoming week. But that's about it, and I'll talk to you again soon.